Aiy-yu-kwee, Malita, and this is my channel, The Midnight Librarian. And today I will be talking about my 2021 goals. So as much as I would love to do all of these goals, they do feel ambitious, particularly just due to the fact of how 2020 went. And if 2020 taught us anything, it's for everything to change and not go your way. I know in particular with me in my life, I know things are changing come January. I work at my local university. I normally work for 3 departments. I'm going from 3 to 6 come January. So the thought of even having the same amount of time dedicated to making bookish content for you that I do now come then is really optimistic. But I'd still like to be able to try because it has been something I've been wanting to do. I was on Booktube before back in 2018. I stopped and I had these plans then, and I still have them. I still want to do them now. First off, let's talk about my reading goal for 2021. For 2020, I put my reading goal as 45. And that's because I had this goal of reading more tomes, so books over 500 pages. That is because I tend to shy away from anything over 500 pages. And despite having a couple of books over that amount of pages, but I buy them because I want to read them. I think that their synopsises are interesting. I think I'm gonna love them, but their sheer size keeps me from reading them. So for 2020, that's what my goal was. I set my book goal for 45, hoping to read more longer books. And although I did manage to get some of them read during 2020, I personally feel like it wasn't necessarily accomplished. I do still kind of want to keep that goal going into 2021, despite excelling 45 books. As of December 10th, I have 65 books read, which has been my best year so far. Years past, I have set my goal for 52, which is a book per week. And when I felt comfortable with that, bumped it up to 60. 60 had always been a good attainable goal, but it made me fight for it. I particularly remember a couple years where I struggled within the last couple of weeks of December to meet that 60 book mark. This may seem like a low number to some of you. This may seem like a high number to some of you. We are all different and we all read at different paces and we all love different books. And that's okay. My numbers are not going to compare to Booktuber like Books and Lala or Chelsea Darling. I am never going to read 20 books in a month. That's just not, to me, that's not feasible at this moment. Would I hope to at some point? Maybe. 45 to 50 is what I'm still going to stick around for 2021 because I do still want to give myself some leeway to be able to read those longer books, as well as I want to read more nonfiction, and that's going to take me more time. So I'm giving myself some breathing room. Whether it's 45 or 50, it's going to be one of the two. We'll see which one exactly it's going to be by the time January hits. And it can always be changed. So in terms of channel goals, I was never under the impression that I would ever be a big booktuber. Algorithms, subscriber numbers, view numbers, I'm not in tune with that. I am awful at figuring that stuff out. I'm making this because I want to make it. I want to talk about books. The goals I'm going to talk about are what I have been wanting to do. If it happens to find like-minded people, great. That was the point. I want to meet like-minded people and chat with them about the same things I like. If that happens to boost my numbers and views, great. I guess that more visibility, I guess. I don't really expect to get monetized. I don't expect to get like Booktube let alone YouTube, was never going to be a full-time job option for me. It just never was. My partner watches a different part of YouTube. It's more outdoorsy channels, fishing and hunting. We've watched videos of people quitting their day jobs to be able to do this make their content for YouTube. I don't know if it's just I can't feasibly see doing that, let alone on Booktube. I don't think Booktube has that capability unless I do something else with it. But that was never something that was never my goal in making this channel. That I don't think will ever be my goal. Who knows what the future holds? But right now, I'm saying that it's not my goal. So in terms of channel goals, I'd be happy if I kept the same amount of subscribers I do now. It'd be icing on the cake if I got 500 by next January. Okay, let's get into my reading goals, because that's what I really want to talk about. Going through my house, I have not just my books that I have in my possession, not audiobooks, which I do have a few on my phone, not ebooks, which I do have a good handful of on my fire, but physically owned by me, unread books. I have about 300. I say about because I counted and then I gained a couple books, but I also need to go through and unhaul a couple books. So it's approximately around 300. We can talk about capitalism and consumerism in another video. That's not for this video. What I will say though is that I have been watching Booktube since 2016, approximately 2015, 2016, and I have been collecting books since before then, but it has gotten worse since then. I have always been a sort of book collector. There was a good period of time where I had a bunch of books, and then I did a purge and got rid of a lot, and then I found myself collecting a bit more here and there, and then I found Booktube and just started collecting like a monster. As I've said in other videos, before I buy a book, I read the synopsis just to be sure that I want to read it. I don't know how, but conveniently I tend to forget what a lot of the details of the synopsis was, because I like going into a book not knowing much. Now, I do update myself on occasion by going through my books every couple of months just to see and just to be sure that I still want to read that book, because I'm very much a mood reader. What I do want to read now may not be what I want to read 6 months from now. Moods change, so do situations. And sometimes I can look at a book and go, I don't want to read this right now, but it seems like something I would want to read in the future, so I'll keep it until that time comes. Some books, not into it anymore, then I will permanently unhaul a book. I have unhauled a couple of books that I'm like, crap, and I'll get them back. I'll buy new copies. I'll buy a used copy just because I'm not sure. Or it'll just kind of sit back in my Goodreads, and I'll be like, do I really want to spend more money on that? So I do need to do that soon. I haven't done it in a while, but that's why I say 300-ish. I would like to get that down some in 2021. I am not putting myself on a book buying ban, mostly because in this pandemic, book buying is what has been, everyone's been buying like those needless things of just buying things just to buy things because it makes them feel better during this pandemic. If that works for you, good on you. If it makes you feel better, that's your business. That with books has been my go-to. I am getting better at it. Hope to somehow get that 300 down, but I'm not putting a book ban on myself, but I am consciously being better at how many books I'm buying. So one of the ways I'd like to get that down is actually through Kayla from Books and Lala created Buzzwordathon last 2 years, and made Buzzwordathon a Goodreads group.
So instead of hosting a readathon every couple of months, but it's a group on Goodreads now. So basically for every month there's a word or phrase to help you choose your books. So for January it's dream. So you would go find dream either on the on the cover of your book or something. So the first ones that come off to my head is James the Dreamer, Where Dreams May Come, Dream Spinner, or Spinner of Dreams or something. Anyway, you get it. And in the Goodreads group, it's like the first 7 days of the month is when you would read it. They're not strict though. You can interpret this however you want. So I'm interpreting it as and this is going to be a way for me to choose my backlist books, because I very much fall into that pattern of I will buy new books, I'll read one or two of those new books, and then buy newer books and read one or two of those newer books, and then the others kind of get pushed aside. This will be my chance to read some of my backlist books that I've been meaning to read, but I keep putting off because I have new books that I really want to read. This will help me get some of my backlist books that I hope to get to. Kayla has done it, so it's not a word, it's not a specific word per month, it's every other month. And then for the months in between, it's more of a phrase or like a theme. So for February it's color, so it's just basically any color that's on the title, that's in the title of your book. There by Tommy Orange, Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. So that's what I hope to kind of give me that motivation to find some of my older books and read them. I'm also thinking I'm gonna adopt my December TBR for the year of 2021. Basically, my December TBR was I picked 3 books that I definitely wanted to get to. As soon as I complete those books, I can read whatever I want, because I am very much a mood reader. When I have a set TBR, I tend to steer away from it because it feels like pressure to read those. And as soon as I feel pressure to read them, I no longer want to read them. So far, December's TBR has been successful in a way. I can't say much. I'm only on my first. It's still the beginning of December, so bear with me. But I like the thought of just having 3 of them that I still get to read in whatever order I want, and then as soon as I finish those 3, I can read whatever I want. I like that structure. So I think I'm going to stick with that. So the first one would be for Buzzwordathon. Whatever book fits that category for the month, I will pick. Another thing I would like to do in 21 is read books that have adaptations. Some of these will be rereads. I would like to be able to read the book, watch the adaptations, and give my honest opinion of them. Of the book, of the movies, and then compare them side by side. I think that would be fun. It's been something I've been wanting to do. A lot of them kind of do have to deal with reread. One thing I see with this is that I'm not the biggest movie person, so we'll see how that goes. Will this be every month? I have no idea. Like I said, I am not the biggest movie person. We'll see if that happens per month or if it just happens when it happens. Yeah, this is, like I said, you tell I'm prepared for this. In that same line of rereads, I would like to reread some books, which kind of defeats the purpose of trying to get down my unread TBR piles, my physical unread TBR piles. However, yes and no. So why I would like to reread some books is so that I can finish series or so I can finish them. Again, is this a monthly thing? I don't think so. It really just depends. A lot of this just depends on how 2021 looks for me because of work and who knows what else. I really don't know. Like I said, this is an ambitious goals. These feel like ambitious goals because we really just don't know what's going to go on in 2021. But that is what I'm hoping for. And then just little things that I'd like to start doing. I'd like to be better with content warnings to give you. I know that Audrey from Perpetual Pages, their videos are fantastic in terms of, I mean, everything about it. But when they talk about content warnings, it is so thorough. It is so concise. Goals. I would love to be able to let you know what content warnings are in books. And so I went to the office supply store safely and picked these up, and I'm hoping that I can do that, mostly because I'm reading Sleeping Beauties right now, and there are so many things, and I know I'm going to forget by the time I finish it. So I'm hoping to keep this on hand while I read books, tabbing books up. I don't do it very often. I know that Winter Counts was one that I could have used all of these. I may have to get more. I thought I got two. I really do just need to sell these in bulk. But I tab books every so often. I don't do it with every book because there's some books that to me, when I go into them, for some reason I feel like, yes, this is important. This is also important. This is comparable. And I feel like tabbing up multiple times a page. Other books, I'll just read to read. I don't know why I don't feel like tabbing them. It's not that I'm not thinking critically about them. I know that this has been a discussion on Booktube and Booktwitter before, of reading for fun versus reading critically. I tend to do both at the same time. There's always some critical aspect when I'm reading any book. That's how I figure out what I do and don't like about books. Whether or not I tab them does not equate to me reading them critically or not. There's just some books I feel like I need to tab up, and others I don't. I would like to start tabbing them up, mostly because when I do reviews, in particular on Instagram, I like to quote the book that I'm reviewing. That I like to pull a specific quote that I feel like resonated with me for the mood of the book. And this will just help in terms of finding that quote. Otherwise, other things that I know I keep in mind when I read books, though I don't know if it's just constantly in my head of I need to do this or I want to do this, and that is to read diversely. I always try to read at least one Indigenous authored book per month. That's just something that I want to do. But I also enjoy the thought of keeping my TBR diverse. So reading by Black authors, reading by LGBTQ plus authors, reading by intersectional authors, reading by Asian authors, reading by disabled authors. I like keeping my TBR diverse. Are there particular books that I want to read in 2020 or 2021? This year feels like it's forever. Most likely. I have not done that research yet. That will be another video. Keep looking over here because I have a bookshelf that has my read books on one shelf and then my want to read book. I have my TBRs planned out a couple months in advance. So it changes all the time, but I like to look at it. Let me know what you plan on doing for 2021. What are some of your goals? What are you wanting to do? What are you wanting to see? I would love to somehow get more art into my content. I'm still trying to figure that out. Yes, I will have some links down below for I've been calling them social injustice links. I'm gonna switch that to raising awareness links. They may include social injustices. They also just may be links to places that need help in terms of donations because of natural disasters. Just to bring it's awareness, just to bring awareness to anyone and everyone who watches my channel. Now, the Philippines had typhoons hit, 4 of them within 2 weeks.
So there's a lot of people who need help. I will have links down in the description down below. Same with farmers in India. They need help with protesting, need help with getting the word out, petitions. Links are down below. Those will be the two that I have highlighted right now. Please be aware that just because they're not highlighted with me or not trending, that it doesn't mean it's not happening. But please do your research. Please share and donate where you can. The pandemic is still happening. Please stay home. If you do go out, wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart, and wash your hands. Otherwise, I will talk to you very soon. Chew.